Hello everyone, my name is Pablo Murillo and this is Genesis Leadership Trainings. Mira, mira, mira. Welcome. Many of us think that leadership is only for the politicians, the entrepreneurs, the managers, etc. But I like to encourage you to change the perception of what leadership is or what leadership development is. Leadership development at its core and leadership itself is just an individual deciding to become more relevant in the world around them. That's what leadership is. It doesn't mean that you're going to be in front of the room, talking to a lot of people and leading a lot of people. Most of the time, that's our perception, and that is leadership too. But there are all kinds of different leaderships, and sometimes just you deciding to become more self-aware and deciding to become a factor in the world around you will push you to become more self-aware, learn about your strengths and weaknesses, and contribute to change in the world around you. That's why I say that leadership is that decision to become more relevant. So, if you're thinking about improving in your life to reach your financial goals, to reach your maybe relationship goals, to reach any kinds of goals, at one point or another, you will have to become more self-aware as to how you perceive the world, how you process information, what kind of beliefs you develop because of the perceptions that you have. Because the place that you are at right now, everything about your life right now, the amount of money you make, the levels of relationships you have, the good and the bad, all of that is reflective of your leadership at this moment in time. If you want to change that, you gotta work on your leadership development. That's what we do here at Genesis Leadership. Let me give you one example, how it is that we help individuals do that. Do you ever deal with fear? Have you ever allowed fear to stop you from trying something? Do you have these dreams and goals that I have been thinking about for a while, but fear has caused you to not take action? Well, when you are in fear, that feeling that we have at that moment is not just a feeling. It's a complex process that includes your perceptions, your past experiences, your positive views of those experiences, and everybody who tells you something about yourself. All that put together is processed in 1 second, and boom, you are in fear. Fear is future expectations are relinquished. That's what fear is. A state of mind where future expectations are relinquished. You give up your willpower. You give up the responsibility you have to yourself. You give up the right to choose. That's what fear is. And we help you how to change the perspective about fear and change it to future expectations are re-envisioned. That's what fear should mean for you. Future expectations are re-envisioned because if you take responsibility and you understand how it is that you process fear in your mind, now instead of giving up the right to expect, guess what? Now you re-envision those expectations. One of the roads that leads into fear, and there are 3 roads: your perception of failure, your relationship to energies and words, such as the word change and doubt. Those are the 3 roads that lead into fear. Let me give you just the first road, because I'm not going to make a video for the whole day, right? You're not going to watch it the whole day. But failure, let's talk about that. When is the first time that you encountered that concept of failure? Think about that. I recall personally, the first time that I encountered that concept of failure was when I was a child in school, very small. You have to get grades, right? A, B, C, D, and F. And I knew that getting an F is not a good thing, because getting an F means I'm going to be a nobody for the rest of my life. That's what I was told. But that wasn't it. What made getting an F worse was the fact that if my mother saw that, whoa, it was really going to be bad. So the sense of shame that comes with failure, that is the underlying energy of failure. Shame. And so we take that concept that we were taught when we were children, and guess what we do? We carry that concept like a cross all across our life. And so if I go to an interview and I don't get the interview, guess what? Right away I go back to that concept of failure. I'm going to be a nobody. I'm going to be a nobody. Even though the job may have many reasons why they didn't give me the job, it's not a failure on my part per se. It could be so many other things. But we go back to that concept. And because we do that, the underlying energy behind that concept of failure is shame, which is the lowest level of energy in the human consciousness and is very damaging to be in. So, failure though is not, it shouldn't be that. This is what failure should mean to you. Listen to this definition. Finite, acquired, introspective learning, unleashing remarkable expectations. Let me say it again. Finite, acquired, introspective learning, unleashing remarkable expectations. That's the acronym that I want you to repeat in your mind for failure. Because in reality, what failure is feedback to you. It's finite information about you. It's true. You might not have gotten that job in that interview, but you're not failure. That just means that maybe you need to improve how you speak. Maybe it means that you need to improve how you dress. Maybe it means that you need to be more assertive. It could be so many things. But if you look introspectively and push yourself to learn from that failure, now you can unleash remarkable expectation. Set your sight at with a higher target. Because that's what it's all about. Learning from it and building to become better. Without failure, you do not grow. Okay? So accept that failure will be your greatest teacher. Except if failure becomes habitual. That is different. All right? So if you process failure in this manner now, when you encounter something that you attempt to achieve, a goal of yours, now there's no fear there because you don't have that fear of failure. You understand that failure is just another catalyst for you to become better. You see that? That's the kind of concept that we share with people here in Genesis Leadership. We bring new approaches to all challenges. And the folks that I share this with, it's amazing. The power of shifting that perspective. Imagine living without fear. Imagine if any time you encounter fear again, you will not be frozen by it and you will glad, with courage, step into it, understanding that the perception you create and how you process the information in your mind, shifting your perspective is what makes you a winner in the end. That's what we do here. Anyways, there are 3 roads to failure. That was just one of them. Okay? So I hope that this was useful. If you are ever thinking of getting involved with a coach to develop your leadership, keep us in mind. We got what you need. And as I always say, see you at the top where the champions belong.